That's so good. That's so good. I'm so glad.
That's insane.
That's we are many, we are legion, and I've got to get that guy on here. That's I need to know more about this. Welcome to Acute Mania Live. It's nice to be back. I had Bullet Biter on last night, and those guys are phenomenal. They were so much fun to talk to. We talked about wieners as usual, and we got some good wiener feedback from them, if you will. And tonight I have John Poole. John, it's so nice to see you. It's been a while. The last time I saw you, we were freezing our ass off outside, and for some reason the show was outside, but it was a great show. I didn't stay.
In the daylight, it was like 60 degrees. Felt good. Sun went down. Yeah. It's just like, oof, it was rough.
What happened, right? And I was like, damn. But it's nice to see you, man. It's nice to have you on the show. This is going to be good. I think this is going to be a good thing.
I agree. I hope so. We'll see.
Wiener or not, it's going to be great.
We all wieners.
Now, I met you through Cassie's at Best.
Correct.
And which is a phenomenal band from West Virginia. And for those that don't know, look them up. Would it be like emo core or
like emo post hardcore? Like there's weird elements. There's like some prog stuff like Coheed and Cambria. That's a big influence for Josh. But there's like weird mathy. I don't know, hardcore stuff like what's a good comparison?
I don't know.
We're like 2005 era of like hardcore, like see, Fear Before the March of Flames. That's a good comparison.
That'd be a good one. Yeah. It's great stuff. But that's kind of how I know you. I think we met outside of that.
The pool hall.
Yeah. The massive pool hall. That place is massive.
Yeah, it's like 27 tables.
Yeah, over in Parkersburg, Grown Bones was playing in Contact Sports, and we were kind of chatting outside, and I said, "You guys or somebody needs to come on the show," you know, and that's just kind of how we just got to talking, and that was a while ago, but that's okay. It takes time to.
I still had the coaster you gave me for.
Did I have coasters then?
Yeah, all the coasters.
I do have right here, actually, one of those, right?
Shit, mine's upstairs. I should have brought mine down. But yes, we use it all the time.
Should have. Advertisement.
I'm sorry.
I didn't get any more coasters after that. They're kind of, here's an older one that I had, and see how it kind of starts spraying, and when it gets wet, and that coasters are for absorbing the wet, the moist. That's so I just they're not made of much. So I just opted out of that thing, but I do have these. I'm pretty excited about these actually. These bumper stickers.
Oh. I
kind of changed the design, so that's gonna be like I need to get a new wall thingy, but got those things now. But yeah, I got T-shirts. I have merchandise.
Well, dang, I didn't get my hands on some then.
Yeah, you might want to. I need to redesign the shirts. The shirts look like that with the older logo, so I have to get a redesign. But yeah, that's kind of how we met, but one thing I was telling the Bullet Biter guys last night about you was, and this is good. I was like, okay, John's one of these guys, and I was watching a video today on your I think it was on the Faint Instagram or the Cassie's, I can't remember. It was one of those, and it doesn't matter if the band's even moving. John Poole was moving. You were like. If the song's in a quiet spot, even like where nobody else is, John is moving his head. He's moving something, and that's what drew me. Drew me to Cassius too, because it's that style of music. But you look at some of the other guys, and they're bebopping a little bit. But you look over at John, and he's just kicking, and still playing. Everything's flawless. It's awesome. Is that just because you're feeling the music, or is that how you tap your foot? Some people tap their foot to the beat, or.
Music has always been very emotive to me. Like there's times where even a quiet, simple song can be just as emotive and passionate as a metal song. There's so many bands I've seen that I love their music. They just stand there the entire time and don't move and don't feel what's going on. Like, I love the emotional roller coaster of music. So I wanted to get there, and I wanted to watch you play your craft. And I love if you're sweeping, doing the scales, have the technicality, but if you don't have the passion behind it, I kind of get disinterested with that. So I want to see something.
It seems like you're focused in on where the song's going, and you're telling us the story by your movements. I mean, it's not like a crazy person, but it's it goes with but the Cassie stuff, it's difficult in itself anyway. I think just by watching it, being able to hit those notes and then just because I have to sit down and play guitar. That's how crappy I am. Honestly. I mean, I can't. I've tried to stand up, and it's just like I can't. I just need to practice it. Basically, it's practice makes perfect. It's like riding a bike, I guess, right?
It is. I mean, a lot of it is motion memory because, in a weird way, like I started as like a temp in the band, just filling in, and then it came to be a full time thing, and then COVID hit, and that gave us time to just like really hone our craft, compose an album, and those songs. I mean, they're probably 3 years old now, but we just played them over and over and over again, got them super tight to where like on stage we could not practice for a month and we'd still be just fine.
Oh yeah,
on stage.
Like riding a bike.
Yeah, exactly.
You never forget it.
But it's a gift. There's times where
go ahead.
I'm saying there's times where like, you don't have that kind of gift of just like truly having everyone like a democracy. Everyone puts in their 2 cents and creates these songs together, and then it just has a unique effect. Rather than me writing a song and teaching them on the parts, everyone has their influence, and it makes it that much more of a coherent song, I think.
And I did see on the I know it was the faint Instagram page. You were playing the drums. You were sitting at the drums, and it was good. Like you were just.
Well, thanks.
I didn't know how well rounded you were with instruments. How many do you play? If you can name them, all.
I mean,
right now. All of them.
Pretty much anything with strings except violin. So I have like mandolin, banjo, guitar, bass. Like I got a lap steel over here. I got a pedal steel. Like I love anything with strings. I started playing bass in church when I was like 12. It's always things that people just need. So I wanted to play drums because there's no drummers around. They're very scarce. If you know anyone here in Charleston, they play in 6 bands. Like it's just always been that way.
Yeah, really. Or
so yeah. So everyone needs a bass player. Everyone needs a guitarist. So I just wanted to play everything just so I could fill in a niche here and there.
It's
like this.
What do you need? What do you need?
Yeah,
right?
exactly.
I got it.
Yeah.
You need lap steel.
Because shoot, even though my mom played drums for we played this it was like a punk rock cover show. And sure enough, she did the whole Meg White. She did the kick, she did the snare, and we did some Joy Division, did some Public Image LTD. Like
that's awesome.
And she kept up. I'm proud of her. But that was the point where like I got to learn drums. Because I just can't keep a drummer.
What can you play harmonica?
I have an harmonica, but it's something that it's difficult. It's okay. Everyone can breathe in and breathe out, but to actually have the whole flair and like
I knew this guy had he would come to the open mics with the whole case full of all different keys.
Yeah,
he was good though. But you could get one of those things that you put around your neck while you're playing guitar.
Yeah. My buddy David has the same. He has the kit with every key, every facet you could think of, and the mouth harp thing. It's pretty neat. It's tough.
I didn't want to say mouth organ at first, but that's what it is. It's a mouth organ. Yeah, this show's also perverted. Okay, tell me a little bit about Yearling. I don't know too much about Yearling. I knew of Yearling somehow, probably just through the socials and the circle that we're in, in our small state.
I'm trying to think. I'm not sure if we ever played Parkersburg, Marietta. We may have played.
You may have played something I was at, and I just don't remember. I don't know.
But then we played in Jackson, Ohio, at something with What If We Die We Scattered. They had a little mini festival there one time.
Okay.
But that band, I think it actually started without me. I joined it later on. This way, my now brother-in-law James and his friend Eddie, our friend, they started just like as a duo, and then eventually we got a drummer, and I joined in. That was 2015, I think. It's been a while. It's been a minute.
Wow. So but you're not real. It's not real active right now. Yearling is not. It's
always, much to my chagrin, it's been a frustrating process. Like we get momentum, something happens. We get momentum, something happens. Just the last show we played, my brother-in-law has a really nice Sun bass amp, and the first note of sound check blew a speaker. So now we're searching to find the right speaker that won't affect the tonality of it, and that's frustrating. It's always something. Like you said earlier, it's always something.
Like the show, yeah.
But they, every band I've been in is a different facet of what I wanted to pursue, and I still very much love what even the new stuff. We have a whole new album. We're pretty much finished writing. We just got to sit down and record it. But it's gotten a more emo twist, like the theme
mean
of this
with
album.
Cassius? With Cassius? Is that what
Oh
you're
no,
saying?
this is with Yearling. With Yearling.
Oh, with Yearling. I'm
Um,
sorry.
So every album's had like a theme. So the first one was like pretty much girl problems. We'll leave it at that. And the second one we did was based on our qualms with Christianity and religion and trying to like find God with asking tough questions. And it was very cathartic album for me because I grew up in church and religious, and I still
did
consider
see something
myself to
on
be.
Facebook, on your Facebook, of a dance or something that you and a friend had done, and you said it was like a church camp or something.
Oh,
I,
that's my baby sister. That was Anna.
oh,
Yeah. So she yeah, so we grew up very involved. But
I did too. I did too. Yeah.
it's something that we just forgot about. And then we were doing like a music trivia night at this local restaurant, and something just triggered it.
Yeah.
And it had been 20 years since we'd learned this dance. And then we went to the parking lot, and sure enough, it just kind of came out of us.
Did
It's
it
just,
again. Yeah.
just step by
Like riding a
step.
bike. I mean, we could do this
Exactly.
all
Yeah.
night. That's
But
crazy.
it's something, even still, even with the faint stuff, it's still me battling my faith and what brings us here, why we are faced with these challenges that we like. Growing up, mental health in the church was not a thing. You're not trusting God enough. You need more Jesus in your life. And now it's come to terms with that mental health is a very real thing. And so I want to be very honest and raw with faint of just like suicide and depression and things that have pervaded my family, my extended family, myself, in a very raw and accessible form. And so I didn't hold back at all. And there's things that I've showed stuff to my dad, and he's like, I can't listen to it. It's too much for me. So he tried though.
That's awesome.
Um,
You can get
but
that out there. A lot of people just keep it in. You know.
yeah. Well, there's still such a stigma tied to it, and I don't know why. Because
Yeah.
everyone I work with, everyone I know has some kind of form
So
that they've
I think
struggled with over
everybody
the
does.
years.
Everybody has something. You know, some people are more severe than others when it comes
Yeah.
to their what they think, and it's just it takes. A friend of mine, Harmon. I don't know what kind of therapist he is, but I don't know whether it's substance or just general. But he's the therapist. You know, he's this big, scary looking, muscular guy. He lifts weights all the time. I've met him in person a couple times, and you know, but it takes a certain person to listen to that person that's reaching out for help. You know, there's a whole. It seems like it's getting better. I don't know. I mean, yeah, the costs are always the cost and insurance and all that stuff. But you know, as when it comes to support, I think it's a lot more available than it was, say, like when I was growing up, like in the '80s. You know, it seems like it. I mean, I didn't need mental health then. I probably did, but I wasn't taken to it. You know, but you know, it seems like it's more available now. It's everywhere. It's even in West Virginia, which you know that's a hard. You know, people that don't know that aren't from West Virginia, you know, the people that are, you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's like we don't have the best access to the best of everything. You know, it's just we get it when it's available.
Yeah.
So
Well, very much so. In a weird way, like last night I went to Breaking Benjamin and Bush at the Civic Center in Charleston.
Bush, hell
and
yeah.
I met, they're so good. It's incredible. But in line, I met two people that work for a suicide prevention hotline here in West Virginia. Nice. And then right behind me, there's a big banner for West Virginia Suicide Hotline. It's such a open conversation now. I really appreciate that.
Yeah.
But for me, like West Virginia healthcare was rough. Like last year was the lowest I've ever been. It took me 6, 7, 8 months to get to see a therapist and see a drug therapist and then see it just took so much time unless I just checked myself into Highland or some local hospital.
Yeah.
You just got to wait it out and grin and bear it and hope you don't make a big mistake.
No, I did see. I hope you don't mind if I say it, but I really kind of took a grasp of this conversation with your stuff with Beneath. I didn't even know that you had it because you have another song that was already out before you released the newest one. I can't remember what it's called at this point, but but you spilled it all out on Instagram. You know, this is what this is about, and that's what drew me. I was like, I've got to get John on my show because not just that conversation, just any conversation, music conversation. I mean, the way that you write things on social media is way more than anybody would put on there. You know, but that's just genuine. You know, that's the only word I can think of is genuine, and you're not holding back from anything. You know,
well, because I've had so many family, lone friends that they just need someone to speak up and speak for them, and so I'm trying to be as vulnerable as possible, and it's painful. It's not easy,
right? Yeah.
But most of my posts, people would say just TLDR, like it's too expansive, but I want to be as thorough as possible and give a voice as big as I can. Because it's pervaded my existence my entire life. And I love who it's made me become. Like last year was shitty in big ways, but looking back, like I'm such a better person from it. And if people can just get through those seasons, like I have friends that are 5, 6, 7 years and medication switch. They can't find that balance. They can't find that goodness, but it is so worth the struggle and the battle. And and it's just so easy to give up hope and just kind of just squalor and just lose yourself in the everyday weight of everything. So I want to be as open as I can and raw, and people latch onto it. Like there's even with Faint, I never thought I played this kind of heavy music. It was never really in me. I like melody. I like maybe a little bit of passion, but like I was on these medications last year that put my head in this really fucky headspace. And my only cathartic outlet was writing these heavy songs, and just whatever came to mind just spilled out of me. And it was such a beautiful outlet, and it really gave me a gift that people couldn't work. Like I kind of married myself to work for a while, because if I stopped, my head got in these weird spaces. So I just never stopped. I always just was doing something. But I was taught to be still and be with those dark thoughts and move through them and process them. And so these things I've learned, I want to give to everyone around me, because I know that everyone can use them. And people I've been recording, like same exact struggles, same position I'm in, and it's helped them move through things, and they've helped me move through things. And I think everyone is tied together for some reason. Mm-hmm. And seeing that pan out this past year, I've had so much support. And then the past few months, I've been in a better place. I can give back to people, and that's been a beautiful thing as well. Just that give and take. But
music is so awesome for that too. Is. You know, like I mean, we're lucky as musicians that we have that outlet. You know, of course, I don't sit down and play the guitar quietly if I'm pissed off. You know, I play a completely separate. You know, I don't play metal or anything. I had an electric guitar for a little while. Mm-hmm. I bought one, and it was on the wall, just hanging on the wall. So I sold it, because I mean, it's not decoration. Somebody else needs to play this, and you know, somebody eventually bought it. But you know, when I sit down and write a song, I think about those times where I was pissed, what I was pissed about, and I write it in a different way that's not so straightforward. It's not so specific, but maybe somebody can take something from it. You know?
Yeah. Oh, and also, like, even in the past, I've had more lighthearted stuff. Like in a former band, we wrote a song about a cat, and it was like the crowd fan favorite. Like it was just a silly song. The chorus was meow 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 meow. That was the whole thing, and people loved it. People ate it up. So I'm not.
People like crazy things and funny things too.
Yeah.
That's a little.
So
it's a little mental, I guess. All right.
Yeah.
Which band was that? Was that with Cassius?
No, that was No Pretty Pictures. That was probably 2013. It was a while back.
I see.
But yeah, I've been in a million bands, either filling in or just like this Saturday, I'm filling in for Josh Pantry. So I'm playing like 4 hours of country covers. Like it'll be.
Who are you active with like all the time? I know you're active with Cassius, of course, but who are you?
Cassius is the main one right now. Yearling is right behind him. But like Faint, our first show is May 20th. So it's just a couple weeks away. So that's our our feet wet. That's the Blue Parrot in Charleston.
Okay. Never been there.
It's with Dooley, actually. Surprise, surprise. From Logan, and then Revision Revised, and they're from Huntington and Charleston.
I've heard of them. Yeah.
Yeah, they've been around for a minute, but they're really tight and pretty heavy too. So I'm excited to share a stage with all those guys, because the pair is kind of like it's where I cut my teeth. Johnny Compton.
Wait. Hold on. You did what now?
Cut my teeth.
Like physically?
Yeah, I just chiseled them away. Just cut them. Just physically cut my teeth. Did you fall
like on your face, or you mean like where you like got started in playing? Is that what you mean?
That's where I got started playing. Yes. You
never know. You never know with musicians. You never know. There's an accident here. There's an accident there. You know.
Well, I definitely busted my ass. The first time I played there with a guy who plays bass in Faint, and I played music with him for a long time, David Plumley. He was on guitar. I was like, hey, there's a drum set here. Let me get on drums. For some reason, Johnny Compton had these like 18-inch drumsticks. So the entire 2 songs we did were just a mess. I couldn't coordinate myself. Yeah. I may have been a little inebriated too, but that was the first open mic we did. Johnny was super encouraging. We came back, and it was much better the next time. But that venue has always been very open to me for the last 15 years, and they've always encouraged me forward. So they see me grow, they challenge me, and they it's probably my favorite. It's my home spot here in Charleston.
Your base,
Yeah.
yeah. That's cool. Now, who is?
Um,
I do want to play. I want to go ahead and play the nascent, right? Because
yep, that's correct. Yep.
I do want to play that just so people can kind of hear what we're talking about.
Okay.
Who is Windwards?
Windwards, he's a beautiful soul from Florida. So we crossed paths years ago. Actually, the bass player for Yearling, James, did. And he filled in drums for a band called Comrades that came through years back. They were like a 3-piece post-hardcore, female vocalist, male screamer, just a really tight
Nice.
emo math post-hardcore band. So he just came in filling through drums, and he stayed at my brother-in-law's house. And then from that, he does spoken word stuff. I don't know if you ever heard Me Without You, but it's very akin to that.
Okay.
But very impassioned, just a beautiful lyricist. And for years, we talked about doing a split. And so many years later, and it took a year to complete the album with the little EP we did, the split. But he did 3 songs, we did 3 songs. And then on the last song of ours, he came and did guest vocals. So on Foment, he's the one, he does vocals on that. But Nascent, okay, the whole spectrum of that EP, Nascent starts off with the dark place you're in, and then Foment is the redemptive part. So it's a whole big story of dark to light.
Now, what does nascent mean? I never.
Okay, so it's nascent. Quick recap. It means an up and coming person, someone who's like on the way up. But for me, it was me. I'm like on my prime, and then I kill myself. So the whole thing is just like waking up to someone with their head blown off, and then. But it's just like the aftermath of like what you leave behind and all those things. It's just like you feel these emotions that you expand in your head. They're not really there. And then when you leave, there's such a void left behind. So that's what the song's about. But it's from the perspective of my wife. So if my wife, Jackie, did that to herself, as me waking up with that guilt and that, like, what could I have done to stop that? So that's what Nathan's about. It's like someone who's like up and coming, really about to like hit their prime, and then it just kind of stops right there.
But now, what are you playing in this?
This one I play guitar, and my brother-in-law James is a singing one, and I'm doing the little screams on this one.
The little screams, like the baby.
Oh, the big screams, the really angry screams.
Angry. Here's Nascent by Yearling and Windwards. Badass.
Oceans of skin have turned
Yeah, it's so full of emotion. It's just, I mean, like I have a hard time explaining music. I mean, I know I'm in the wrong line of podcast stuff, but I just, sometimes I'm just at a loss for words with explaining it. It gives me goosebumps, especially that high pitched guitar right there at the end. That it's a symphony of it just of feel good to me. You feel great. After here, I was watching the lyrics. I'm on Apple, so I was watching the lyrics go like scroll as you were singing, and all that emotion, and then just hearing that at the end, it's just like like I don't know if that was the same thing you guys felt when you wrote it, but that's what I felt. After hearing all that stuff, and then it's just kind of like euphoria.
Yeah, that was kind of the purpose. Is like it has a whole dark story, and then it starts the redemptive arc right there in the instrumental part. And I've always been a fan of like with the bass is doing that heavy stuff. I want to add some melody on top of that and make it that much more where you evocative of emotion. And I think you felt it even when I play it live. I still feel it every time we perform it, and it's something that.
I mean, love it. Shane Lester's in the chat, and he says, "Loving this."
Oh man, he one of my closest friends in the world. I've been recording him for a year and a half now. He's just I could talk for hours about Shane. Actually, tomorrow we're going on a road trip to see a lady in Columbus, and Avery, I can't remember his name. Beautiful country singer songwriter. But he has become a huge facet of my life. He's in my house at least once a week. And when he's not, I feel that vacuous void of no Shane in my life. But he is just an incredibly sweet, kind person. And we just finished recording an album. It's like 14 songs, and we're about to release a single here in a couple weeks for the album. But we're trying to do it right, trying to get it on playlists and blogs, and trying to do everything we can to expose it as best we can. Because that's my downfall. In the past, I'll just freaking just drop a song. Hey, check it out. No promotion. Just hope you like it. So whoever watches my story, like I get the 10 listens that month.
And promotion gets so I get tired of it after a while. Like when I first started on the show, I would try to promote it and use like the Facebook ads or whatever, because it was on Facebook, and it says this is what I'm paying for, but you never know who's really reaching, if it's even reaching anybody, because I just never saw any results. And then I get on YouTube. I start with 20 subscribers or something. That probably just some people that came over from Facebook because I'm on a different platform now, and it's just I'm up to I think 300. Well, it says 350 subscribers. But it doesn't matter. Like to me, okay, I get to 1,000, I can go live on YouTube. Great, I'm live on YouTube now.
Yeah.
I had to talk to some people, but no, I use Zoom, and paying Zoom allows me to go live.
Yeah.
And without the 1,000, but I'm glad I have that opportunity to showcase your stuff, to showcase everybody's 194 others.
Yeah.
And it's just cool, but yeah, promotion is just, it's a bitch after a while. Because
it is.
You're just like, what did I think of?
Yeah.
And
it's ever evolving. Like even now, TikTok's the new platform that like people are blowing
TikTok,
up on.
yes.
And still, there's so many secrets of like what time you post, when you do this, how you do this,
Yes.
and it's so tedious. Like
at the same time, you gotta write music. It's like, what do I do?
Yeah. Which, I mean, a lot of these big bands, they have a full-time person who does just that, just social media, just promotion.
I'm willing. I don't make any money from doing this, but I'm willing to pay somebody to do all the promotional shit for me, because I don't want to.
Right. I don't blame you. It's so overwhelming. Like we listen to so many podcasts on how to properly go about it, and there's no right way. There's so many different opinions on how to do things, and we'll see if it comes to fruition. But it's just so it's just very daunting. So we're gonna try and tackle it.
Have you ever played down at Live at the Shop in Dunbar?
Yeah, actually, that's where my brother-in-law blew his amp on soundcheck, was the shop. So he felt like it.
I had Michael Grass on. I don't know if you know him. He does the Grassroots 304 podcast.
Yeah,
and I had him on. I kind of found him, through the weird algorithm of Instagram, and found out that he was a podcaster. Does similar thing that I do, and only he doesn't do his live, but it's still a great show. He interviews bands, and he does it right there at the shop, so he doesn't really have to get a hold of anybody.
Yeah.
so I kind of hate him for that because he does struggle of no, I'm kidding, but but, but after I had him on, because I was like, I'd always wanted to have like a podcaster on or be on a podcaster's, podcaster to podcaster. Let's talk, make it interesting. So it was cool to find him in West Virginia, so he's in West Virginia also. He does the same style. So we had a great show. Anyway, I hit him up a couple weeks after that, and I said, I just Googled it, and there, to my knowledge, unless it's just not on Google, which if it's not on Google, it doesn't exist pretty much. You know what I mean? So, but I looked it up, and I couldn't find anything that even had the same wording. But there was no West Virginia Podcasters Association. There's a national one, and it's like 200 and something for a membership, because it's a big nation, I don't have that. I don't need, I didn't see any perks that would have helped me at this point. So I hit up Michael, and I was like, would you help me? Would you want to be involved in starting an association? Mm-hmm. He said yes. So it has been started. I have a little website that kind of helps with associations, and that's where we can all kind of, as members, be on the same page with everything. It's kind of like a social media for associations. It's really cool. So I'm trying to get this going. The West Virginia, I have a logo. I made a logo on the fly because that page needed a logo, and it would continue to give me notifications about it, and I was just sick of seeing them, so I just made one. But I'm looking for people. You don't even have to be in West Virginia. If you do a podcast about West Virginia, that's fine. Mm-hmm. Yes, it would be better if you were. I don't know. We don't have any stipulations at this point. This is new. we are the only ones. It's us. So I forgot to say that last night, so I wanted to put that out there. If you, John, if you know anybody in West Virginia else that does a podcast or it doesn't even have to be about music, just anything, any podcaster or podcastee, I don't know, any podcaster that does anything about West Virginia or in West Virginia, basically.
Yeah. Well, I'll be honest, like most of the podcasts I listen to are from people from West Virginia. Like there's one called Chattahoochee Podcast. They do like 90s country reviews of like top songs from each artist. There's Chat from a Hat. It's two guys from Meet the Matinee. Oh, dude, Josh and Caleb, they're two of my favorite people in the world. Actually, I just got caught up on their 17 episodes, and because it's weird, like you go to these shows over the years, and I'm an introvert by nature, so there's times I'm there to just watch music, and it's hard for me to interact with people. Yeah, and I feel like I've missed out on so much. Just like in recent years, I'm just now getting to know these people I've known for 10 years. Yeah. And so Caleb's pretty reserved. Josh is loud. So hearing them in this context of a podcast, you see both their sense of humor come out, and their chemistry is so good. So I highly recommend that podcast. But get in touch with all these people.
It's just I don't know where to start with. Like I don't know who to contact. A lot of podcasts. I don't know how many of them do it live. There's not very many podcasts that do it live.
Not live, no.
But so I wouldn't know where to go. So like if anybody's listening and can if you can get a hold of them and tell them what I'm trying to do. There's no dues because, like I said, we're just getting started. We are the founding fathers, if you will, of this. Mm-hmm. So I just need some. It's not. I don't need support. It's just, but I need somebody else to do it. Let's do it together. Let's start something. Let's start a revolution.
Exactly. Well, it's so hard. Like people get excited for a split second and then kind of lose the vision. Like for years back, I did a whole Excel spreadsheet of every active band in West Virginia. It was hundreds of bands. It was so many things. But then I'd have to revamp it every couple months, like defunct, hiatus. And then this past year, I've seen 30 bands from Huntington alone from the college scene just explode. So much talent. And I can't keep up with it. Like we played with a band at the V Club last week with Roy Bush, and they're called Shoebox. And it was their first official show. And they kicked so much fucking ass. They were so good. It was like the indie emo, just so impassioned. It was a little 3-piece. And they were so nervous, and they just fucking killed it. Yeah. So the Shoebox, give them a shout out. But they there's a house venue called 1901, and it's just churning out all these new artists, and they're open to everybody, and every show's a blast. And they just open their living room up to these intimate house shows. And it's so cool to see someone take that DIY handle, because last couple of years there hadn't been much at all. Years ago I did shows.
COVID ruined everything pretty much.
COVID did.
ruin things that probably would have happened that we'll never know about, you know?
Exactly.
And
Like once, even with Yearling, we had this huge momentum of playing these festivals and things coming up and summer tours, and
yeah,
COVID just wrecked all of that. So anytime we get a chance, something gets in the way. It's always something. And so you have to have there's grace for it and there's patience, but it gets really frustrating. We're like, I'm getting my mid-30s, like, should I still do it? Like, so I'm kind of transitioning to just recording people, because I will always love playing live, but there's still a satisfaction that comes from like producing a project and seeing it come to fruition. And
so you do recording for other people right where you're at right now?
yes, right here in this room. That
That's very
there's
peaceful looking in there.
it. Well, I asked Shane. He says like he'll be at home, he can't write a damn thing. Steps in this room and like 3 songs just flow out of him. So that's all I ever want to do.
I can barely get one at like in my most comfortable atmosphere.
Yeah,
barely.
Well, Shane, he's been sober for almost 600 days now, but in that time he's just used it to be creative. And I just hit him right in that stride where he just like every week he's texting me, here's lyrics, here's a song structure, here's a demo. And I love seeing things kind of flesh themselves out, and he's so good at that. But there's times where he's frustrated, he comes in here, boom, it just kind of flows out. And
I need to get Shane on the show so I can talk to him more about his writing process. So
I was just told him today, I told, hey Shane, let's get you on here, because I think he'd really do well here. He's one of those hyper ADHD fun people I've ever been around, but he'll be a blast.
I can get like that too. I can vibe like that. You can co-host with us when we have Shane on. Shane, you're welcome to come on the show. We'll connect after me and John get done.
Oh yeah. But all I want to do, even with like when I would host shows or do things, I want to cultivate some form of comfortability and creativity, and just a place that people can kind of call home and just be themselves and let it just flow out. Like everyone I've been recording in this room has done such a good job. I'm so blessed to have so many talented friends. And the more the merrier. Next week, my buddy Nico's coming over to record some stuff. Like I want to get as many people in this room as possible. And
I will come down there, John. I have plenty of ideas.
Hell yeah, come on down.
I got one of these bad boys too. I'll bring down with me.
Oh snap! Hell yeah!
This thing's it's our single dream that I was telling you about before we went live. It's at the beginning and end of that song. It's throughout, but we didn't put it on the released one. We didn't put it on the released song. But that thing is just, I'm telling you, everybody should have one. If it wasn't $700, everybody should have one.
I know.
Once my first sponsor, I will take all that money from my sponsorship and buy as many DFAMs as I possibly can and just give them out to everyone. I mean, and actually, the company Moog is out of Asheville, North Carolina, and I had a band from Asheville last week, the Get Right band, and they're like, yeah, the Moog factory's right up the block. We go up there all the time, and just because they have things set up, you just walk in and just play with a theremin or just or whatever synth. And I'm like, I hate it right now, because I'm like, because I've had to send that down there a couple times for different things. But I was gonna ask you something. I can't remember what it was. I do this all the time. Let's tell me a little bit about Faint. How did Faint get going? Tell me a little bit about the song, not the Wellbutrin one, the other one.
Wellbutrin. Okay, Milk Toast. Okay,
well, yeah, so I do want to know about Milk Toast, because that's it's spelled differently than milk. So.
Yes, well, it's an old phrase of just like something just like it's kind of like just milk toast. So there's a former band I was in with Roy Bush and my buddy Zach, and actually pretty much everyone that's in Faint. It was called Neota. I can't remember. We never decided on how it was supposed to be. But it was a post-hardcore. We'd sing a bit, do some finger tapping. Like every song was different. It was just us trying to figure out what we wanted to do. So Milk Toast was a song we had written for that project, but then we disbanded. Things kind of COVID hit pretty much. Yeah. We still like a 5-song EP. I need to just finish mixing and put up there because it's really good music. The Milk Toast was like a 2-minute song, just kicked you in the crotch. It was just a really fun song to play. And that's what for Beneath, all it is songs that I've tried for other bands and didn't work. And so I just made it for myself, just did everything and put it out there because there's so many good songs you lose to time if you just don't utilize it. So I didn't want to lose those. So Milk Toast was one that I did. But it didn't fit Beneath. It was a little too heavy. I wanted to try a new venture. But then All Faint is, I didn't intend it this way, but my mental health was fucked last year. So I was put on all these medications. So this whole album is a song I wrote on each medication I was on. So some are more pretty, some are more manic, some are heavy. whatever mindset I was in, I would just like let those lyrics flow out, and let the music flow out, and then I just picked a song from each month I was on these medications and put it onto an album. I never anticipated for it to be a live band. I thought it was just me with my catharsis of venting all that anger and all that hurt on the music form. And so it panned out to be something that it will be a live thing. And it's honestly, it's hard to play live because it brings back things where I'm in a better place now. It's kind of throwing me back into those old headspaces that I kind of I've grown from. But all the same, I want that to be out there in the ether for people to access and people to maybe help them grow through. But it's I don't know, it's all the songs are like a minute and a half long. It's all very just kind of in your face, in and out. But Bupropion was the first one I'd written because Wellbutrin was the first one I was put on. And I had an awful time on it, and the lyrics reflect that. But it's something that I've never anticipated playing this kind of music. I never knew how to write it. And then all of a sudden it just clicked. I was like, oh, I bought an 8-string guitar and then tuned it down and just like it all just flowed out. Because I never dabbled in stuff that heavy, and it just came to. But it's a project that I'm very, very proud of. It's very, very intimate and vulnerable. It's something that I'm excited to get out.
Very good stuff. I was shocked. I was surprised. I wasn't shocked, but I was surprised because I just know you as a bassist. That's how I met you. That's how I've seen you play, and I was like, but then the Beneath stuff came. That song came out, and I was like, my goodness, this is powerful. And then now this, I didn't even know about Faint until you emailed me your bio and about everything for the show, and I was like, this is crazy. This can't be him. Like I was telling my buddy Rob, this can't be. I know John. He's a bass player. Yeah, but I mean, it's good stuff. It really is.
Well,
it's very hard. You can just tell that you're just spilling everything out. Whatever it is, it's going, and that's but it's good. Anybody can do that, but to make it badass at the same time is another thing.
Well, it's weird because like I put just as much of myself into everything else I've done. I got more response with Faint than anything else entirely, and it's kind of frustrating. It's like I've done just as much with everything I put my time to.
You listen to other people, do what you do. You know what I mean? If you listen to other people, you start reading comments and shit, and then I've done that.
Exactly. But the fact that it resonates, it means like, I'm doing something right. So I'm going to keep doing it for that reason. But it's and it's just like so much fun getting people involved. Like I love not just doing it myself. I want to get everyone I fucking know in the same room with me and doing stuff together. So on the Faint record, there's 6 or 7 guest vocals. All my friends are doing art for it.
Oh no, I'm thinking one song. I'm like, how?
Oh no.
It's not that long.
Well, there's actually a Den Around 3 song that had like 7 features on it. So shout out to you, Den Around 3, and Rob for coordinating that. But it was so much fun having people come into this room and just belt their guts out on the mic. And but my buddy Rob Coleman's mixing this. Like he's almost done. I think tonight he sent me, as we do this, he just sent me a draft. I saw it come through the screen here. So hopefully it'll be a master, and I'll have a new single out for Faint here in 2 weeks. Paroxetine featuring Mikey Corsica. From Impurist, and he's got some new stuff coming up. But everything I've been a part of with these guys involved, like it's just been a dream come true. I love collaborating, and if any of you out there want to collaborate, just hit me up because I love adding production or just I love music as a whole. And you're talking about earlier with your music video, just even fog. Like I did a little video for Bupropion in this room. I just did a fog machine, a red light, and had a little DMX controller, just had it flash. And on my iPhone, I just made a little video, and it worked out really well. It's surprising what a little fog and some lights can do.
I showed it to the Bullet Biter guys last night because I got the draft last night.
Okay.
And I let them see it after we got done with the show. I'll show you the final draft when we get off of the live stream later.
Oh shit! Oh hell yeah! Awesome.
Special sneak peek of it. See what you think. Let's take a listen to Faint, and please say the name again.
Wellbutrin, aka Bupropion, the generic term.
There's something in my eye, and it's not my finger. It's about to be here in a second. I need to change my contacts for one thing.
Bupropion.
But here's the burp song by that Faint band down there in Charleston, right?
Yeah.
Kanawha City. City.
Yeah.
There we go. Here, check this out.
I make it stop, I can play just good.
Let's hear it again. I started all over again. It's not enough.
A whole minute and a half long.
It reminds me, okay, and it doesn't compare to this. This reminds me, because I hate comparing bands. It's just it's not my style. But it reminds me of somebody of a group that you know, a group of gentlemen that you know. You played with them before, I think. You probably did. Probably have before, like with them, like show wise.
Yeah.
Ghost Home.
Yes, very much so.
Chaotic.
And it's funny.
Like,
it's funny you say that because, well, I love Ghost Home for one.
Yeah, I do.
But you can ask Jason. I've told him and Bo and Ryan. Their former band, Almost Hell. I love them so much, but they would have these just fucking 1 minute songs that punch you in the gut.
Oh yeah.
Have so much like packed in this tiny little time frame, and they left such an impact on me. That was 6-7 years ago at this point. So when I saw
that influence in you right there, like you can hear that. Whatever it was, is there. You know, it's just because it's very chaotic. I mean, it is. When I first saw them, I think it was in Marietta at that what's that place called where the cold place outside.
Yep. Yeah.
I saw them with Grown Bones when I met Grown Bones in person for the first time. They played that show, and I remember Jason was laying by the end of their set. He was laying on the stage with no shirt and a Bud Light in his hand. So,
yep, that's Jason.
But it was badass. You know, it was like, man. And they just it's no holds barred. They just go at it, and that's, I mean, I need to get those guys on again. When I had them on before, they were drinking Bud Light, and Jason was moving, so they were in the middle of the move. In the big container was right behind them in the basement or wherever they were. And by the end of that show, they were pretty. They were pretty good. They were ready to move some more furniture and things, you know. I mean, it was great, you know. And then I came over to Parkersburg and met them in person, and I was like, man. So I think they're doing more things now. I don't know whether they got another member or I can't.
Yeah, they have like a whole new lineup, and and like everything they've had in the past has been wonderful. Even Josh from Cassie has played them for a little bit.
Right, that's
this new lineup. Mm-hmm. Well, they found like the Sacred Gym. I found a drummer that didn't play in any other bands. Like they found like a whole new lineup. Actually, a former bass player of Cassius plays with them. Like I think they found their stride, and they just put out a new song, and it kicks fucking ass. Like
I'm gonna have to look that up. It's so hard to keep up with you know everybody that I have on the show. It's just like usually they're coming out with a song when they're on the show, and we'll hear it on the show before it even releases. Sometimes, and so then and I will know the whole show when it comes out. I know the date and everything memorized. But then when the date comes, I'm like an Alzheimer's patient. I have no idea what you're talking about. Yeah. I mean, like, you know, it's just, it's so much. It's so much, but it's so much fun. You know, I've done, like I said, this is kind of a milestone episode because 5 more episodes and it'll be 200. Mm-hmm. You know, but every show is special. I hate saying that, but it's true. But I mean, you know what I mean. It's every show is special. I mean, if you know, it's I lost track of my train of thought. But I've done 12 countries.
Yep.
I can't name them right now. It's in a list. But what I need to do is I need to make a list of every state that I've done, and
You should.
try to complete all 50. Try to. I did talk to a band in Hawaii a few weeks ago, and I need to reach back out to them.
One of the
That
two.
would cover Hawaii. So, huh? What is it?
One of the two bands in Hawaii.
Yeah. So I mean, that would cover Hawaii. I need to cover Alaska. I've never done a show. I always say never been because of the show. Virtually never been to Alaska. I'm trying to. New Mexico. I know for a fact I've never done a New Mexico. But you know, I've done a band in Maine. I've even had that band on twice. They were 30 seconds ago. They were on about a month ago again.
Oh, sick.
So,
Yeah.
It's cool to go back and have some. You know, I'm kind of in that realm too. I will get a hold of. You know, there's a band in Finland that the very first band from another country that I had on was Finland. I didn't do Canada. I didn't do Mexico or somewhere that would have been a little bit easier. I went straight to Finland for Rats Will Feast and back at the beginnings of the show, and they're in the process of writing new material and stuff. So they will come back on. Just I don't know when, but Finland has. I don't know if you've ever listened to much Finnish music, but my goodness, there's a shitload of talent in Finland, and probably because they're just separated from the entire world. You know, there's nothing. It's cold as shit all the time. Probably, maybe not all the time, but for the most part. I mean, the last oh gosh, I'm terrible with band names. The last guy I had on, they lived in the northern part of Finland. The next town's called Santa Claus. Literally. Santa Claus Finland. Seriously, the whole town is Santa Claus this, Santa Claus that. I mean, it was hilarious. But they actually experience the Northern Lights all the time. They have they call it the midnight sun, where it's daytime all like 24 hours. You know, it's like you want to write some freaking metal music. You know what I mean? Like because you're just pissed off at the cold and Santa Claus. He can't stand Santa Claus. I mean, it's just like what? Joy is from I Am Your God. That's the band. I Am Your God.
Mm-hmm.
Very good band. Let's go ahead and play that song that we were going to play like 5 minutes ago when we were saying it, and we will listen to that. And then we're going to talk wieners, but we're gonna change it up a little bit tonight. We're going to change up the wiener thing. We'll do a little bit of it, maybe. And then I started a new thing last night with Bullet Biter, where the guest that I have on at the present time comes up with a random question. Tonight it would be John. So they have a random question for John, not even knowing anything about him. It was before I even said anything about you. They just knew your name. But it's even more special for you because you have to come up with a question for my next guest, which I don't know. I guess it wouldn't really count because I'm doing a release for our video on Saturday night. I guess you could do that, but I'm already going to know the question. So
exactly. Now let's do a surprise for the next.
We'll do it for the next guest, the next actual Cute Mini Live guest that I have on. Whoever it may be, because I don't even know at this point. So let's listen to the song, and then we will talk wieners right after this. Great segue, I know, from this song to wieners.
Wieners.
We already listened to this, didn't we?
I think we did. Yeah.
See, I'm all out of sorts, dude.
You can play it again. It's just a minute and a half. I
kind of do want to play it. Yeah, that's right. I did want to play it. My viewers know. They know. Man, he's this guy's all over. I did have somebody came in the chat last week, and I kind of recognize this because on YouTube, when you don't have to put like you can change it every time, you know.
Yeah.
But I have the stipulation to where you have to subscribe to be able to chat, and you have to be subscribed for 5 minutes before you can start chatting.
Gotcha.
That's how I get people. It's not working, but that's how I've gotten to 350.
Clever.
But no, I had somebody come in the chat room and say, worst host ever. And see that doesn't bother me anymore. Yeah, here's this. Where's your podcast?
Right.
Where's your 195 episodes? I don't see it. And then they were actually their screen name was actually their channel. No videos, 4 followers or subscribers or whatever. Yeah.
Worst host ever.
Okay. Well, since we already did that, okay. Mike is in the chat room. Mike is my roommate. He's on the couch. He does not like to be on the actual show. He doesn't like the camera. He doesn't. He won't even. I told him I would just set a microphone up, and then when the wiener segment comes up, he can just come in here for 5 minutes and do the wiener, because it's his thing. I started this for him. This is all for him, but he doesn't want to do that.
Oh,
So I have changed this now. Before I tell you what this is, I'm going to play the I guess it's the theme song, the intro to this segment. Now, this is my father. When they were over, when my parents were over in Hawaii, I had them come on the show. It was their first time ever on the show, and they joined me from Hawaii, and I got my dad to sing. And this is what he sang. It's very short. And my mom's in here, too.
hey, Mom.
I know a weenie man. He owns a weenie stand. He sells most anything from hot dogs on down. Someday I'll join his life and be his
weenie wife.
hot dog. I love that weenie man.
Okay. So basically, it's harmless. It's about hot dogs. My roommate Mike is a well, he has a fetish for wieners. He loves hot dogs. He loves hot dogs. He will travel miles for a hot dog. Now I had Michael on from Charleston. He answered the weenie question. And basically, it's what do you like on your hot dogs if you eat them? Some people don't even eat them. Some people think they're disgusting. Several people, actually. But if you eat hot dogs, what is your go-to toppings? And I'm sure Mike has been to Charleston, but what's your favorite spot to go for a wiener?
Man, okay, I'll be honest. My wife and
Hard
I
question, isn't it?
love hot dogs. Like actually, I got called white trash last week at work because I had no bun. I just took a piece of bread, folded it in half, put a wiener on it. Good to go.
You don't have a bun, that's what you do. Everybody knows
Exactly. It's just, but they call me white trash. I'm like, whatever. I'm enjoying my life. But at work, we have ketchup and mustard. Like, I'm the works. Give me slaw. Give me chili or hot dog sauce, depending on what part of the state you're from.
Mm-hmm.
Onions, like whatever gives you the worst breath. I pile it on there. There's this place in Cleveland that was called Happy Dog. You could put kimchi, Fritos on top, beans, like you put anything you wanted to on top of a hot dog. So that kind of spoiled me because you can do endless options. But if I'm doing a standard hot dog, ketchup, mustard, onion, and chili, maybe a little slaw on top. But even like wrap some cheese around the wiener. I mean, you can't go wrong. It's a good thing.
Nothing
Preferably
wrapped up wiener. You know?
English bun. If I'm going to Dairy Queen, I gotta have an English bun. That's a have to.
An English bun. What do you mean? Like an English muffin?
So English, a little different.
That kind of sounds tasty, really. I mean, you know.
I mean, you can put a wiener on anything. That's the truth. But
I think it's been proven.
So English buns is just toasted sides. So it's just that much more. Like you butter the sides, toast it. It's just a taste vacation.
Dairy Queen does do that. They do that. Yeah.
Yes. So there's no other way.
Custard stand's big down your way, right? Custard stand.
That's more in like Flatwoods, like. But I have driven an hour to go to Custard Stand for that good quality.
I'm sorry, Custard Stand, but I think your chili sucks.
It's not my favorite. But like honestly, the Kroger down the street, they have a really good chili. You heat it up, it's quite good. But around here, the best hot dog place for me is the Grill right there downtown, or I guess technically West Side. But it's this old fashioned. It's like a diner you'd see in Washington D.C. Like presidents have come here. Like it's a very, very good spot. For just an old-fashioned hot dog. But if you want something fancy,
fancy hot
very
dog?
good. Yes, there's a place called shoot, I just blinked on the name. My buddy
That's
Josh
the name of the place.
There.
That's awesome.
Yes, I wish it was. And Josh, you're gonna fucking kill me because I can't remember the name of your store. It's not Happy Dog. Super Weenie. Jesus, there we go. So
that's
Super
the greatest
Weenie,
game in the world. Yeah,
I know, and it's they're hoping to expand their hours now. It's kind of it's just they were a cart. Now they're brick and mortar, and every day they're growing more and more. But they have like a peanut butter jelly hot dog. They have just off the wall things. You'd be surprised. It's actually quite tasty. But they put so much thought and curation of what they do, and it's definitely worth it. Anyone just go there and try it. It's right there downtown. Yes, so it's right down the street from like the downtown library. Like
I've been to Taylor Books a couple times.
Okay, it's like 2 blocks from Taylor Books. Yeah,
I have a good fraternity brother. I was in a music fraternity at WVU with him.
Ooh.
Christian Tansy, you probably know him.
Yeah, I know Tansy. I love Tansy. Yeah,
everybody knows. Yeah, Michael did too. He's like, yeah, I know Tansy. I'm like, how many people do you know? You know what I mean? But
Well,
I still haven't had
a
him,
guy,
I still haven't had the Kind Thieves on here yet, so I do want to have them on.
get on that, man. What are you doing?
They're lollygagging is what they're doing.
Yeah, that's
Andy
true.
knows that I do this show because he does the TSQ thing. I think it's on Tuesday night. He does this show, and he had John Ingram on that night that he gave me a shout out, and I had it recorded somewhere. I think I posted it on Facebook or Instagram, and but so he knows that I do this show all the time, and I've had bands on I've had the Settlement on, they didn't have so. Come on! I mean, even Tansy, just himself, would be great. And he was going to do. He was going to do it one night. He was going to drive up from Charleston and come up here and just do it in person. But his boys got sick, so he had to go home.
Yeah.
So, and that's fine. Any other excuse I won't take. But kids, yes, that's fine. No, I'm kidding.
Family first. But no, because my buddy Roy, a good friend of mine, he lives with me for the last few months. He works with Tansy at Black Sheep. And every time I go down there, there's always a story to tell. Tansy's got this insane life. So if you can get him on get him on here.
What I'll do is we'll go. I will come down. I will pick you up, and we will ambush him at work, and do the show at work live. That's right there.
Plan. Right there, Black Sheep. Just making tacos, talking.
You know what it is? I didn't know what it was. I didn't know where he worked anymore. He was bartending for a while. I know that, but
I mean, he I think he still does. He's a jack of all trades. He'll work 3 different jobs in 1 week. So I
wonder if he can play trumpet, keyboards, and bartend at the same time.
I'm sure he could. He's a very talented person.
We will take instruments with us. That way he doesn't have the excuse. Well, I don't have my instrument. Well, guess what? Trumpet.
No, you do, motherfucker.
Exactly. Now what? What's your favorite hot dog? You make me so it's tacos, a taco joint?
Yeah, well, if you look online, it's Asian fusion. I'm not quite sure.
That could be anything.
Because they have some Hispanic Mexican taco quesadilla stuff. They also have their burgers. They're what are they? It's not like ground beef. It's like a very fancy meat chop steak, maybe.
Not plants, right? The plant burgers or whatever. Right?
I think they do have a veggie burger, but which is also actually really good. Because I went through a phase where I tried different kind of vegetarian things, and theirs was beautiful.
That was good. Yeah, I have had a what's the tofu.
Yes,
I've tasted the tofu that a long time ago, and it wasn't bad. I mean, it's not something I would eat all the time, but maybe it just wasn't made well. I don't know, but
it's one of those things that it absorbs what it's surrounded by. So if it's made by itself, not good. But if it's mixed with the right things around it, it tastes
like a hot
flavor.
dog. Like a hot dog.
Yeah, exactly. Well, speaking of, your hot dog. What's your wiener preference?
Well, up here, up in northern West Virginia. I'm just south of Morgantown, so just south of Fairmont, if you know Fairmont.
Yep.
So, up here, and probably down there too, you could walk into any hot dog place and say, I'll have 2 with everything, and they know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Everything it's not everything. It's not everything they have. It's raw diced onions, chili or sauce. Some people call it sauce, and mustard. But sometimes I throw a monkey wrench in there, and I say I'll have 2 with everything, including ketchup, and then I'll get weird looks. Seriously, some places will kick you out for asking for ketchup.
I've heard this. Yes, I have.
Mike's told me this. I did not know that. Man, but yes, West Virginia is very passionate about their wieners.
Yeah,
as we should.
I think
be.
West Virginia Living magazine did a whole top 50 hot dog spot in West Virginia, and people were really defensive about putting ketchup on a hot dog. It was not a thing you did.
Who was the winner? I remember that article, but I can't remember who.
I can't either.
There's really not a winner though. It's your preference. It's
exactly.
That's why we do this segment. I guess I don't know why we do this segment, but I didn't think it was gonna. I didn't think it would have went over as well as it did. I was gonna just change it up to something else, but I'll put that in the holster for the next person.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, the bullet biter guys are near Chicago, so I didn't figure that. But the Chicago Dog. I've had other bands from Chicago, so. But I did get into the pizza conversation, and that's a debate. That's a hot debate up there.
It is
with certain things. So I mean. But I did ask them a little bit about the crust, and because we've had one of those Uno's pizzerias, one of those here in Clarksburg once, and it's not here anymore. But that's really all I know of an authentic Chicago pizza. That's as close as I got because it said Uno's Chicago Pizzeria. You would think, but kind of like the Outback, it has nothing to do with Australian food. I did have there was a band from Charlotte, Imperium, and their lead singer is from Australia. And so that was the very first question I asked him. I said, "What do you get when you go to the Outback?" And he did not see that one coming at all. But he said, "Do not serve me at Foster's because I will punch you in the face." He said, "That's
true." So I went to this Bible school thing in Australia, and there was no Foster's to be found. It was they had everything but. They had their own like Cooper's was like their beer, their cheap beer, their Bud Light, which is still like miles above anything cheap beer in America.
Yeah. Bud Light.
But
my goodness, they have a scandal up there.
Oof.
They're giving.
Oh my goodness!
I saw on the news today, they're giving distributors. They're just giving it to them to distribute. Like,
yeah, exactly.
You just don't have to buy it now. They will give it to you to sell.
But they're in some hot water, man, over dumb shit.
What do they call woke?
Yeah.
Things.
Well, I work in a blue collar industry, and thankfully, whoever I work with are pretty open minded. A lot of my clientele are just like, "Yeah, I poured out all my Bud Light last night. I had a whole like 230 racks, and it's gone." I'm like, for what? For what reason?
Cover it with a napkin and drink it. You know,
exactly.
Put tape over it or some shit. I mean, you don't have to pour it out. I mean, you spent good money on that. I did see on your Instagram you organized something. Was that at your work? You organized a warehouse or something? I hope you didn't do that for free.
Oh, no. That's okay. I worked at a place for 8 years. And then with the coming recession, I got let go back in January.
Ugh.
So now I work to my direct competitor, which I love both places. So now, I'm in a warehouse. I do inventory control. It's all commercial and industrial plumbing supplies. So I do these huge ass gate valves and piping and all this stuff, pumps, things to make your hospitals and plants keep running properly.
Flowing freely, right?
Yes, yeah. So anything from hydronics to shit water.
Your workspace or something, because like everything was.
Yeah.
You know, I get like that in the studio. Something, you know, there's wires hanging everywhere, and it doesn't matter. I could clean it up tonight, and tomorrow it'll be all screwed up again because Rob will come over tonight and we will jam.
Well, that's why if you look here, you can't really see it. I fucking hate wires in the ground, so I put hangers up top here.
Great!
So I can
ready
run.
To renovate in here. So
So we were trying to play with headphones now, like headphone mix. So I have everything here. All XLRs, all 1/8-inch wire cables go into your headphones.
All right.
I have it to where nothing's in the ground. No trip hazards.
Once I get the renovation started here, because the plan is, and I gotta pause my conversation with this, because Mike today, I'm gonna add the sound effect in here. Mike today has gotten space for his own restaurant. So congratulations to Mike for that.
Good job.
So, and there's other good news with that. Maybe some sad news too, but there's an apartment available upstairs. So the room right next to the room that I'm in my house is his room.
Yeah.
We're going to cut a hole in the wall because the other side of this wall, this flat wall here, is the closet. So we're going to cut the closet open and have more of a studio space.
Oh, nice.
I might need you to come up and wire me, if you will. if that's the way you want to word it. Wire me, John.
Well, it's something like, especially when I've been like a man that had states. I love organizing. I love rearranging. So this room, ask anyone that's been in here, it's changed 7, 8, 9, 10 times.
I rearrange shit all the time. Yeah, This desk was before. Last week was this way. So
really?
I have to have a different view of things. You know, I just can't. I can't things because your mind works in the same way. If everything's the same, then nothing's gonna change, and you're talking about the same thing on the show. And you know, so if I get a different view, but I still talk about wieners, damn it, on every show. Mike, you're welcome. But no, he was like, it's not wieners, it's hot dogs. It's the hot dog segment. It's like, it's the wiener segment until you come on and do the hot dog segment. That's when it changes. Guess what? It's been a long time and it's still the wiener segment. So I have a theme song. So I mean, I can't change it now.
There's always next year.
So I do have a little bit before we start to wrap up. I'm very excited. I have a video. My first ever music video, myself and Mike were the actors or the performers or something in this music video, and it drops on Sunday at midnight. So everybody says Saturday night at midnight, which would be wrong because technically it's Sunday morning or something. So, but at midnight, Saturday night, Sunday, whatever you want to call it, it'll be available on Sunday, May 7th. And I got the final one today, and it's good to go. We're good to go, and I will show it to you after we kill the live stream. But I'm going to do a show at 11:30 that night, and we did the same thing for the single release, and we'll do it at midnight. And I think my friend Phil from Yonkers, New York, he's in a band called Maintenance. Check them out, Maintenance. And I think he's going to join me for that again to release the video. And I don't know, it's just going to be. We won't talk about wieners. We might. It depends on how the conversation goes. You never know. And we'll just kind of hang out and for about a half an hour, watch the video, and then say goodnight. So May 20th, I can come and see Faint in action with Dooley and who else?
Oh, Revision Revised.
Yeah, I will be there. We're at Blue Parrot in Charleston.
Blue Parrot, yep. If you come earlier in the day, there's a barbecue fest right there on the boulevard, and there's a bunch of bands playing the levee. There's good food. I mean, it's something that you get these tickets, you taste everyone's barbecue, you vote on them, see who has the best barbecue.
Mike might want to go to that with Mike.
Yeah.
He won't be able to hear me. It's latency. So like,
I mean, we've gone years in a row, and it never disappoints. It's so good.
I will get a hold of you, and we will plan something. I will, but I definitely want to come down for the show. I have to see what's.
Absolutely.
The end of May is crazy.
Yes.
I have several things happening. A fantastic band from Akron, the Akron area, Asava. They were playing at Live at the Shop down in Dunbar on the 20 something. And I can't remember, but I'm going to go just so I can, to see them, but to meet Michael in person and kind of go see that venue. I love to travel and go see all these people that I've met like this.
And I'm so proud of the shop because they've had it established for a little while now, but they're expanded so much. Oh, like
videos they post and everything.
Just the light rig alone is more than my house is worth. Like they put so much into this quality of sound, quality of vision. Just they want every band to really feel at home there, and it's a beautiful. It's small, it's intimate, but you walk in, there's your stage. Right behind it is that sound booth, the whole recording studio. Back there's this big green room. Like it's just a very inviting, very warm place to be. And so I'm getting bands from everywhere.
That I'd have to get on my things. But yeah, it's so Asava, and I don't know if anybody's local is playing with them, but they're doing like a tour, and so I'm gonna. But the reason I say that I'm going to the shop because the very next, like a few days later, they're playing in Pittsburgh, and I was gonna go to that anyway because the Amplifiers are playing with them, which those guys are like my buddies, in Pittsburgh at Voodoo Brewing over in Homestead. So I will see them both times because I have to. Asava's the shit, and they're starting to get where they were wanting to be, I guess, with festivals and the Incarnation Festival, these big festivals that they've dreamed of being part of. They are on the main stage on one of them, and it's just like, man, and they're starting to pump out some more singles, and it's fun. It's a good thing, and it was nice to meet them when I did meet them before they were even on the show, as at one of their shows, so with Amplifiers. So that'll be fun, and there's other crap going on too. I can't remember right now, but so the next time I will be on here is Saturday night, 11:30. You're welcome to join if you're up that late, John. Some people like to go to bed early, Mike, but I jam anyway. I think it because it's right beside his room right here. So, but I think the closet being full of clothes kind of absorbs.
Yep.
He said he can hear it more in the living room than he can when he's in his room.
Interesting.
Because I got a freaking 12-inch PA Mackie in here it's called the Thump for a reason. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It doesn't hold back. And I do my shitty vocals, and you can't hear anything else other than me going, oh, because I hear it. It sounds great to me in my headphones, but nobody else. But anyway, it's fun. John, it was great talking to you, and whatever we covered so much ground. I guess there's probably more we can talk about. We'll do that in person sometime. We'll go for a coffee or a beer, probably a beer.
Either or.
We'll invade Tansy at work sometime.
Taylor Books has both, so we can go there for either one.
We will go there. We'll do that. We will I will let you know about the 20th. I will try to get down there for that.
Fucking A. Yeah.
I will put that on my go to this. I have certain lists. Maybe, probably, maybe, and you better be there. Like that's kind of how it is.
It's the triage. Yeah.
Yes. You cancel those other plans because this is where you gotta be. But our video releases on Saturday night. I will be here for that, and probably. I don't know. I was kind of. It's weird to hear your own stuff. I don't know what. That's probably a good question. I should ask you way earlier in the show, but I'll ask you now anyway. But what was the first time you ever heard yourself on an album that has been released everywhere? You know, the very first time you heard yourself play or sing or even a video, seeing yourself in a video. What was your feelings?
Oh man, I still hate it. It's I've never cared for my voice, singing wise, and I've always everyone's their own worst critic. But it wasn't until years later oh shoot, I just lost everything. There it is.
I see
yeah. Sorry, I was trying to mute some conversations. I was getting blown up. But no, like I still like it's hard for me to listen back to a mix. Like Rob just sent me a mix. I'm gonna listen back and be like, man, I fucking hate my voice. It's something that you never really outgrow, but you get more comfortable with over time. But it's weird looking back on a video you just got back or a song you just got a mix back from. You're like, oh, is it good enough? Like, how can I make it better? There's points where you only do so much. Like, if I can go back and redo everything I could, but all you do is use it, grow from it. And so now I'm actually really proud of the things I've done in recent years, but it took 20 years to get to where I am now. So you can't get stuck on watching yourself.
You're doing it and keep doing it because everything that I've heard to this point is phenomenal. It's fun watching you play with. I mean, I've only seen you with Cassius, but you know, just bebopping. You know, like when nobody else is doing anything, you look over at John and there he is.
Well, it's the thing is in the past I was always singing.
I love that energy. You know,
I was always tied to a mic and I couldn't do it. So now I don't have to sing. I don't have to do anything. I can just get down.
Do whatever you
bass
want.
is my first love. Like I started playing bass in church when I was like 12. So like it's where I cut my teeth. But as a whole, bass is just my love. Like it's just I'm connected with that instrument more than anything else I've touched. And it's something that just you can see it pours forth from me. Like I really
it's
love
awesome.
the bass.
It's awesome. I look forward to what you have coming up. Whatever it may be. If it's ukulele, I will listen to it. Because I'm sure you'll be just you know. Because I will be doing the same thing. I get down with that stuff.
Hell yeah. Well, I'll keep informed what's coming up. Real quick, my question for your next guest is
oh yeah, that's right. Oh yeah, okay. Hold on.
Oh,
their question for you was, what's your favorite brand of underwear?
Ooh. I gotta say I'm a Hanes man. I've been Hanes man for a long time.
Hanes man, okay.
Because well, I get the Hanes briefs. I don't do boxers. I don't do underwear.
I don't think they asked what type, but I mean,
okay.
I'm glad you elaborated though. That's awesome.
I mean, Hanes his way. That's the way I'll say it.
Yeah, that's true.
But you gotta have like because the briefs, I'll say you got the support, but not the constriction, or not the loose brevity of the boxer. My dad was a tidy whitey man.
We should have done this.
We should have.
I mean,
we should have.
I didn't even think of that. Damn. Next
but
time.
No, Hanes all the way, hands down.
What do you got for the next guest? It won't be the video show on Saturday, but whoever is scheduled next.
Well, the next person, I was thinking just today. I was just craving pizza all day, so it's been in my head. But I was thinking of like the best stuffed crust pizzas out there. There's a lot out there.
Stuffed crust. What's in the stuffing? Is that what you mean?
Okay, like well, there usually it's okay. Mozzarella cheese stick is a stuffed crust, but there's pretzel bites. There's other things that have more stuffed crust. But like, ask the next person what their favorite type of stuffed crust is, or and where from. Because even like Little Caesars has it now. All these places are popping up. Different...
I think Little Caesars has bacon or had bacon in theirs.
Yeah, and it was actually pretty good.
I'm a stuffed crust fan. For sure.
Yeah, so I grew up on Pizza Hut stuffed crust. That's like a Pizza Hut personal pan pizza or stuffed crust. It was like my two still go to choices.
You can't. I mean, you can't really get a bad pizza. You can, but you can't.
Yeah,
you know? You can, but you can't.
I mean, I grew up on Chef Boyardee, so anything's better than that.
The overstuffed ravioli is the greatest invention. Yeah. The overstuffed, not the little mini ones, not the regular, the overstuffed Chef Boyardees. Maybe they'll sponsor me.
I hope so. Actually, I had SpaghettiOs last week for the very first time.
Oh, that's a rival.
Believe it or not.
I don't know. I never liked the sauce in SpaghettiOs. It's too.
I mean, it wasn't great.
But it's like an MRE, like in the military, the meals ready like that. That's what it would be. If you got a can opener, you could have one. I don't know.
Oh, it's funny.
The outro tonight is a band that I kind of rediscovered. I discovered them in January, looking back, and you know, they must have gotten busy. I must have gotten busy. Somehow something didn't work out. Hopefully, I can get them on the show and we can talk about why this song is called "Unholy Ghosts." But the band is called After Dusk, and that's what we'll listen to play us out of the show. I always change the marquee at the end to the next guest. Now, I don't know who the next guest is, but I do know that the next episode will be 196. So I will change the 5 to a 6 and change the board from John Poole to blank because I don't know. But I will know. I'm in.
We'll find out.
I'll constantly have maybe. Hey, Shane Lester. Should I just go ahead and put Shane Lester up there?
Do it. He'll do it in a heartbeat.
I wonder if he's even still on there. Well, we'll find out if he sees it, right? What did you do to me? I don't want to throw him under the bus or do anything. Things happen. But I will see you guys on late night Saturday night 11:30, and we'll talk about whatever, and then we'll watch the video when the clock strikes midnight. We will watch me trying to act like I know what I'm doing. And Mike. Well, of course you don't see Mike as much as you see me, but it's cool. But I'll show it to you here in a little bit. John gets to see it. Thanks, John. It was so much fun having you on.
Hey, Scott, you're a
we'll
wonderful host.
In person or whatever. We'll do it again.
Hell yeah. And fuck the haters. You're a wonderful host. So just a heads
Thank
up.
you. I think I am too.
Great podcast host.
You know what's funny? They actually redacted their own comment. Yeah. So that's right. Anyway, Unholy Ghost by After Dusk, and hopefully they'll be on the show soon. John, we'll see you, man. Have a good night.
Well, thank you, Scott. Appreciate you. Thank you.